Hi everyone, beautiful Friday. How are you? My name is Sandra Bichl. I'm a former headhunter, executive search consultant turned career consultant. Today I will be reviewing the global job markets and job market trends for August 2022. While everybody is coming online across Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, I'll introduce myself and my team briefly. As some of you might know, we are a career consulting boutique. By the end of this year, we will have supported over 10,000 individuals. And since January 2020, we've had over 10,000 participants across our webinars and various lectures. So today I'll be speaking about the global job market trends summary for August 2022. Our market signals are data points that we collect about the job market and summarize and publish on a weekly, monthly, and quarterly basis. Over the last 2.5 years, we have gathered almost 10,000 data points. We have received over 400 insights from executives and HR directors. We have published 87 monthly reports, 466 daily updates, and 13 special reports. And we have now been tracking 18 countries worldwide for 28 months. If you want to have access to our data, we share them freely on our profile on SlideShare or on our LinkedIn dedicated LinkedIn showcase page called Market Signals. So why would you be interested in market data? Why is it important to understand the supply and demand often for candidates? Well, from an employer's perspective, it is important to understand the market dynamics, unemployment rates as opposed to demand for candidates on the market in general or for certain segments. From a candidate's perspective, more demand means less effort needs to be put into the job search. On the other hand, if you know that your job market is a difficult one, so less demand, higher unemployment, then you have to react and plan accordingly. As I've mentioned, we're streaming on 3 platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, so please feel free to ask questions, comment, share reactions, or simply also share this live transmission. Now let's kick it off. We will be talking about global reach, then about Europe in more detail, and towards the end also we'll look at the DACH region and a couple of selected countries in Europe specifically. So as you can see here on this slide, you see the week-by-week changes in August for the Americas, 22 countries, Africa 10 countries, and 38 countries across Europe. So overall, as you can see, Europe, well, you can see what you can see on the slide, of course. So let's zoom into Europe. August brought an increase of 7.13% in the number of published job ads. The biggest increases go to Albania, Iceland, Norway, Bosnia, Sweden, Malta, Netherlands, France, Finland. So they are almost at 10% or above. The remaining countries have increases between 0 and 10%. And then we have a handful of countries from Ireland to Portugal that see decreases in the number of posted job ads on LinkedIn from minus 0.50% to minus 13% in Portugal, for example. But overall, it is a positive trend. So if you are actively looking for a job, you can join the hidden job market on LinkedIn to find the best job ad gems for executives. And here you have the link to the group. For those who are not familiar with the hidden job market, ever since we've started that closed group on LinkedIn, we have over 6,400 members. We have published 10,220 handpicked job ads, 1,031 fully remote opportunities, and 256 weekly reports have been posted so far. Now, talking about remote, some of you say, I like working from home, so we have actually a dedicated remote edition for executives. So now let's have a look at the global perspective in more detail. When you look, so we said Europe has seen an increase in the number of job ads on LinkedIn. When you look at the very right column, it says 2.9 million job ads in Europe for the week of 35 in 2022. Same time last year, we had 2.5 million job ads, so less. So August is stronger, has seen an increase, and it is definitely better than same time last year. But when you compare it to same time last year, 2 years ago, we're still behind by about 1.7 million job ads. Having said that, when you look at the top 20 countries, the top 20 economies worldwide, you see a consistent increase from 11.6 million to 12.1 million to 13.8 million job ads. So demand is rising. For the Americas, 22 countries across the Americas, we went from 5.0 million to 7.0 to 8.1 million. Also very good news. Africa, the top 10 economies in Africa, here it's not as positive. We had 215,956 job ads published in the week of 39 of 2020, so after the summer of 2020. Same time last year, 44,975. Now we have 68,560, so it's better than last year, but we're far behind what was on the demand side for candidates after the summer of 2020. Now, if you want to know what specifically has been happening for the US, UK, and Germany, US went from 4.4 to 6.2 to 6.8 million job ads, very good. UK 0.8, 0.5, 0.7. So much better than same time last year, but not yet as good as it was in 2020. Germany, at the very beginning of the pandemic, 1.7 million job ads posted. Right now we are at 0.9 million. It's a bit better than last year, but by far nowhere the demand for candidates as in 2020. Let me take a sip. So here again, for those who like graphics, you see the weekly changes for July and August for Germany, the UK, and the US. Okay, and here again the numbers for those who like to delve a little bit deeper. So what do those numbers mean from an employer's perspective? When you understand how much demand there is for candidates, and when you look at the unemployment rates, you should be able to easily decide how to attract the best talent. Is post and pray enough, meaning post a job ad on LinkedIn and pray, or any other platform, and pray that enough good candidates will apply? Or do you have to activate active sourcing using social media, including LinkedIn? Do you need to hire a recruitment agency, or maybe be active or very active in your employer branding efforts, including defining candidate personas to make sure you get the competencies that you require at the moment? When you look at both perspectives, the more competitive the job market, the more difficult it is to find either the right candidate or the right job, and it can take 2 to 4 times more effort than in a not as competitive environment. From a candidate's perspective, again, understanding unemployment versus demand, you can then really precisely set your career job search goals. You know how well you have to position yourself as a candidate. So we talk about candidate positioning. You need to have 2 CVs, and now it doesn't really matter. Supply and demand is not that important. You need to have 2 CVs in today's technological world, meaning one for humans and one for applicant tracking systems. You need to prepare your LinkedIn profile, and the LinkedIn profile has to be optimized for both humans and for the LinkedIn algorithm. Very important. And irrespective of how competitive the job market is, you do need to activate all 4 job search channels there are: headhunters, job ads, direct contact, and networking in order to generate interest and consequently interviews. Here you see what I've just said summarized in 4 steps. And if you want to read more about what it is that you should be doing precisely, you'll find more information on the link that you'll find in the comment section and here on the slide. I know it is still something relatively new, and we relatively often get asked, so what is this human CV, applicant tracking system CV? So for those who are interested in that, we have a dedicated CV ATS guide that walks you through the differences between a human normal CV and a CV for applicant tracking systems. And once you have reformatted and readapted your CV, you can send us an email saying, could you please review my CV in terms of applicant tracking system compliancy? So then simply send me an email and we'll review your CV, of course, free of charge. Okay. Now, if you're actively or passively looking and you'd like to discuss something, you can, of course, also book a free career consultation with our team. Okay. And as I mentioned, we still will be discussing in more detail the DACH region, a couple of countries. If in the meantime you'd like to ask questions, comment, feel free to do so. So the DACH region, where a lot of our clients and audience come from. DACH means Germany, Austria, Switzerland. The overall monthly result is plus 66.66%, so an increase in the number of job ads across July and August, which is very good. Here in detail where we are at from July through to August. So in Germany, we went from 0.4 million to 0.9 million. And that's the reason why the overall result is positive. Austria and Switzerland have seen a decrease from 53,000 to 49,000 and 76, almost 77,000 to 70,000. Okay, when we look at selected countries, for today's edition, we've selected Belgium, Poland, and Sweden. So you can see Belgium is up, Sweden, Sweden is up, and Poland is a little bit down. But all of them have job ads from 87,000 to 130,000, so not bad. Okay, and here again, for those who like numbers, you see them here in the graph table. So you can tell it's Friday. So if at this point you have questions, comments, please publish them while I'll be wrapping up. If you are interested in career advisory as a subject in general, we do have 2 postgraduate programs, one in English, one in Polish, where we share our know-how, our methodology across 11 weekends, and weekend number 12 are exams. Okay, if you are more of a DIY spirit and you say, okay, this is all nice, but I like doing things like job search on my own, feel free to check out our Udemy course. As it says, every step of the job search explained and backed by research, with lots of downloadable resources, worksheets, etc. We, of course, also have a YouTube channel where you can track our videos and webinars that we host usually every week or 2. Okay, now I see that there are no comments today, which is okay. It's Friday after all, and for a lot of people, the last holiday moments. However, if you want to thank us for our know-how and tips, you can buy us a virtual coffee or follow us on our various social media sites, which we have summarized in that link that you can see, careerangels.eu/how-to-thank-us. And I think that is it. Thank you very much for joining. And I hope I'll be able to bring more good news when I'll be summarizing September 2022 at the beginning of October. Thank you very much and have a lovely weekend.